Okay, so quickly today we'll want to quickly look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria and our bid to go to the 2026 World Cup. The playoff games scheduled for Thursday, and of course later the other game for the finals will be played next week. The Super Eagles arrived camp. Most of them arrived on Monday, some on Tuesday. But the report we got from the Tuesday training, which is very heartbreaking for all Nigerians, is the fact that the players and officials boycotted training and refused to train because, according to Super Eagles captain Williams Trust Ekong, they had not gotten their bonuses. Really painful that we are still here again after so many years.
The thing is that, I've been very, very critical of the NFF.
Yeah.
They run the. I used to think that the NFF is run like a criminal mafia organization, but I didn't know that they've added slavery and slave labor to it, because Amaju Pinnick cannot boast that he has not been earning salaries since 2019. These footballers, they have financial objectives that they also have to meet. They have financial goals. Yeah. They have people that they take care of. They have families. They have friends.
Yeah.
There are people that they support, and then these monies could be used as their own personal investments. The English national team, for example, they have a system where players are paid, but then the players have to. It's like an unwritten rule. They have to voluntarily donate these monies to any charity that they like. So, for example, if a Marcus Rashford, a Harry Maguire, a John Stones, a Phil Foden, if they are asked to represent the English national team, they would be paid a stipend compared to their salaries. Then they will have to donate these stipends to any charity of their choice. We don't have such structure in Nigeria. And this is very, very heartbreaking for me, because now I can see why we were playing lackadaisically, because you've not paid these guys since 2019. How do you expect them to perform magic? Amaju Pinnick and his goons have been earning salaries since the 2019. They've never met their salaries, or they can provide evidence to say, oh, it's not only the Super Eagles footballers that we have not been paying. We have also not been paying ourselves. But these guys have been earning. A laborer deserves his wage.
Yeah.
You refuse to pay these people, and you want them to perform optimally. Even if these players would have left it, let's be honest, the issues of corruption, even when there are no clear evidence of it, but the insinuation of corruption in the NFF would even propel them to want to demand for their wages. And you must pay them. You must pay them. If there's a rule that says, okay, these players, okay, they should not be paid, it's an honor to represent your country, or give this money to so and so charity organization, it's fine. These guys deserve to be paid, and I stand 100% with them. We have a non-payment culture in this country. It is in these countries where governors sit on people's salary, on civil servant salaries for months or for years. They will not be paid. Pensioners are not paid on time. Many of them, they die in penury because they are not paid. And it's from issues like this that it starts. You work in the private industry, so many people are not paid. So many people, even those that are paid, are not paid on time. There are people who are yet to earn October salary in Nigeria. People working in the private sector. Their bosses deliberately sit on their salaries and say that I don't want them to run away. They want to, enslave them with the salaries that they are yet to pay. There are people who have only earned half salaries. You understand the point? So this is why this issue is very personal to me, because what these footballers are facing is not a peculiar problem. It is a Nigerian problem that has to stop.
Okay. Now, my argument will be the fact that we are in a very precarious situation. We want to go to the World Cup. These players want to go to the World Cup. This issue has been on since 2019. Why not wait until after we've qualified?
No.
Why not wait until after these two very important games before technically going on strike? Because going on strike before such a very big and important game, for me, is a wrong approach. What they are demanding is correct, yeah, but sometimes wisdom would say, let's finish the battle at hand first. Let's finish these two games, qualify for the intercontinental level before we then make this demand. Why make this demand now when the game is just less than 48 hours away?
Okay, now see, I'm going to your question has to be answered, from two angles. If you are in Roman, if you are in Rome, you have to behave like a Roman.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are in Akwa Ibom, you have to behave like an Aquaman. You understand? So now, our NFF leaders would not yield to negotiations. I'm not sorry to say this. There is an animalistic tendency in Nigeria. People only listen to a show of force or a show of strength. If these players sit down with their agents and are negotiating with the NFF, I'm telling you, that money would never come out. It would never, because this is like 6 years now. So monies that did not come out in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and then you now expect a magic to now say, okay, then the NFF goons, the mafia in NFF will now sit down and say, oh, these guys have tried, let's give them their 6 years salary. It will not happen. So, and then again, you also have to look at this. Look at what happened to Olise, or the towards the 2002 World Cup. You understand? Yes. What happened? These guys, they negotiated and say, okay, if we are done with the qualifiers, okay, you now give us this. What did they do? They dropped them. Okay. They dropped them because they didn't want to pay that money. There is a financial problem in Nigeria, and it's because Nigerians are not litigious enough. Even me, I'm guilty of it. I've had to let some, monies go that I've worked for because I wasn't litigious enough, and sometimes I still regret it. And I think if I might want to go back to these cases because of the inspiration I've just gotten from the Super Eagles. Pay people what they are due when they are due. Don't say because the players want to qualify for what. If the NFF should be ashamed, the shame is on the NFF, because some of these players can only represent Nigeria in the qualifiers for 2 or 3 times or 4 times. The officials should be ashamed that we are going through these processes on the back of the $2.5 million that was squandered to build 2 mini pitches in Kebbi and in Delta. And then you are having issues of not paying these guys. Will NFF say they have not been receiving money from our corporate sponsors? Can they say that? Can they say they've not been receiving money from CAF? Can they say they've not been receiving money from FIFA? So what are they doing with these monies? They are using it to, see, let me quickly finish. Okay. They are using it to organize bazaars and galas and irrelevant meetings where they eat the extra codes. That's just what they are doing. I'm not afraid to say this. They are squandering the money that should go to these players. And it's wrong. We have to tell them the truth.
And I'm very sure also that even for all of the qualifying games we have had, and even the African Cup of Nations, the officials of the NFF have also gotten their extra codes.
You understand the point? They would have gotten it.
But the players are now. This issue has been on for many years. We can trace this back to the 2002 World Cup when Sunday Olise and some of the senior players were expelled from the team because they demanded for an agreement they had with the Sports Federation at that time for qualifying for the World Cup. But now this issue is, for me, it's a national embarrassment. Okay, there is a budgetary allocation from even the federal government for sport in Nigeria.
Of course.
So the big question is, did we not factor all of these qualifiers and allowances into the budget submitted by the Sports Federation to the federal government in the first place? That's one. Two, now that we are here, and for me, this is very important. This is where I think patriotism comes in for me, okay? There are about 230 million Nigerians who are going to be heartbroken if we don't win on Thursday. I remember growing up, and when Nigeria plays the game, I don't win. Sometimes I go to bed hungry because I go to bed without eating because I lose appetite and stuff. There are people who even suffer from high blood pressure and just watching the Super Eagles play. So my appeal would have been that because of the people of Nigeria who, like you have said, are suffering a lot right now, football seems to be like the only escape for some of us
from the harsh
draconian
reality.
Country. Play the game first, and then we can then begin to drag the NFF for the money.
And when you talked about patriotism,
yes,
just now, it was as if you stabbed me. We are asking for patriotism from the wrong people. The NFF officials should be patriotic enough to pay people their salaries. Look, if you are watching this video and you have ever been owed, and then you've had to call or beg and beg whoever is owing you for your money, then this file should be very particular to you. This is what you went through, and this is what your compatriots are going through. You should stand with them. The World Cup is not more, it's not more important than their mental health. You cannot sacrifice the mental health of the likes of Osimhen, Amas Obasoge, Alex Iwobi, because we want to go to the World Cup. Stop sacrificing the mental health of our youth. Pay them what is due. The NFF mafia, I'm not going to even mention any name. They should be patriotic and stop bringing shame to Nigeria. Why are we always asking the people who are writing under the collective pain of the misrule of people in office? Why are we always asking them to be patriotic when the people who are in office, who control these resources, who eat these resources, who mismanage these resources, we tend to give them excuses. Why are we excusing people who have refused to pay them salaries? Have there not been any salaries since 2019? Then you don't want to pay the players. And then, this is what breaks my heart. Many of these players, they live a kind of lifestyle that at the end of the day, when they get old or when they get sick, they start begging for sustenance. Yeah. That's because they have not been paid when they were young. Pay them and let them go. You have no right to hold their money. Don't even bring the patriotism card. Somebody that's not eating, do you want the person to be thinking about patriotism? And let me tell you, whatever allowances they are paying to Super Eagles players is big money to some of the players. Some of these players don't earn that much in their club side. Our goalkeeper, Nwabali, who has been comically renamed Bahubali by some of our compatriots on social media. He plays in South Africa. How much do you think is the salary? How much Obasoge plays in Ethiopia? How much do you think is the salary? This is big money for them. Give them this money and let my people go. Pharaohs in NFF, let these people go.
Okay, you brought another point to it, because sometimes when we talk about these allowances and for the Super Eagles, people tend to look at
the Osimhen salaries, yes,
and the Wobis and think, okay, maybe they really don't need the money. But if you look at other players,
the home base players,
for example, or even those who play for really small sides,
yes,
smaller countries, you realize that this money can mean a lot. I remember one time Celestine Babayaro claimed that there was a tournament we were to play, and he was asked to fly down from England to the country with his money, that he will be reimbursed later. Up until even after he retired, that money was never given back to him.
You get the point.
So these kind of stories, look at Sunday Olise with the interview.
You know, I was heartbroken.
And you realize
watch that video.
And also another point, we have seen some of our players retire and just die in penury. Rashidi Yekini and many other stories like that. There is no plan as a country,
you understand,
for us to take care of these people after retirement.
Of course.
There's no insurance plan for them. There is no retirement
benefit for them. Which I'm even in support of. You know, these are footballers. You play your football, you retire, you go into coaching, you go into football management. You can even be an advocate for, I personally hate some alcohol influencers or even betting influencers. You know, you can do that to continue earning money, to stay relevant. You understand the point? We don't have to be getting a retirement plan for our ex-footballers.
Maybe an insurance plan that can cater for them.
They should get it on their own. They have bankers, they have financial advisors. You understand? They should walk into any Zenith Bank branch, walk into any UBA bank branch, and ask them for their insurance policies and do that. What I am particular about, now imagine you are playing for Benin Insurance, for example, and your salary is less than 1 million naira per month. And then you are now called for the Nigerian national team, where you will get, like, let's say $5,000, which is about 7.5 million naira as bonus. Now, this would be like your 1 year earnings.
Of course.
And then you'll be happy, and then you're happy. That's life-changing money. And then you go and play these games, you will not be paid. And because this money has been there for like 6 years, this money, I think each player could be entitled to up to like $150,000 by now, or $120,000 by now, which is big money that you don't expect people to let go because of patriotism. If it was 1 or 2 allowances, it's fair. If you had said, okay, since it's the same crop of players that have been playing since that did not qualify, we're not going to give you extra bonuses for the playoff. For me, that's also fair. You understand the point? Because if you look at other modalities, if you also look at the financial strength of the NFF, but we want to see the NFF budget. What are these guys been doing with the money? I want to see, because they are, you know, when we want to play a football game, you see them flying around, living in posh hotels. You know, they want to have the same perks as the players. They want to enjoy life. They want to siphon some of this money, because you can't tell me they are not siphoning money. If you are not siphoning money, why are you not paying salaries? It's a peculiar problem to Nigeria, and that is why our football has refused to grow, because you are not factoring paying people. Pay them their money.
And we even have unfounded information, yeah, that sometimes they even go with their girlfriends and side chicks to this tournament. In fact, there was the last one we went for where we had more officials than athletes.
I watched the Benin Insurance game. It was around last year. Yeah. I forgot who they were playing with now, but those guys came from Algeria. Insurance actually beat them 1-0. Yeah. Do you know that in the VIP box, people were even sitting on the floor for just Benin Insurance? So many officials from either the state government or the Benin Insurance or even friends of friends. Yeah. They crowded the VIP box. I was ashamed. I think I used to have it. I will have to go through my Google photos to see if I still have the videos that I took that day. I was ashamed.
And those guys have all come based on the fact that they will get their allowance.
You understand the point. So you understand. So it's just too bad.
We know where these monies are being wasted. The areas where this revenue is being misappropriated, as it were. But the players' allowances should not be negotiated.
You understand?
But my own argument today is the fact that somehow I think we could have played this game first.
This is why.
Now, some players, for example, let's use Messi for Argentina. We have seen him step in and try to sort out these things for the Sports Federation and pay the players and do other things. We're not saying Osimhen should step in and do that, for example, but we're saying that the players could have been patient somehow, beat Cameroon, and then demand for the money before we play the next game in the final.
Beat Gabon, rather.
Yeah, or beat Gabon, then demand for the money after the Gabon game before we play Cameroon. But to do this now, when we have not even played Gabon, it's crazy.
The NFF is a mafia of exploitative people. If you decide to play this game first, they are going to cajole you
to play the
other one. By the time you play the other one, they will cajole you, play another one. At which point you'll be in 2047.
Yeah.
Some of these players would be dead before they even decide to pay these monies. I'm telling you for a fact. Now, I understand that even players like Cristiano Ronaldo, they can just come out and say, okay, I want to sort this.
Yeah.
Even Messi, the likes of David Beckham, they can just come out and say, I want to sort this. Yeah. One, because they are extremely wealthy. These guys make much more money from off the pitch activities than from the pitch. Yeah. That's one. And point two, there's a level of transparency that we do not have in this country. We have been shouting about the $2.5 million FIFA Sega. Have you seen any financial statement from the NFF to say this is how we use the money? They have been granting, their officials have been granting 1 or 2 interviews to try to confound us, to try to deceive us. So where there is no transparency, why would I want to give them 5 naira? They should begin to publish these statements. In fact, the NFF should be looking at winning the public trust. And how do you win the public trust? You give us the information about, okay, this is how much we spent on the under-17 teams. This is how much we spent. When we traveled.
Super Falcons, for example.
You understand? Also, so now the players are in Morocco. This is what it costs to take care of them for a day. Yeah. This is what it costs to take care of them for take care of the officials. But I'm telling you, if it costs Nigeria, let's say $20,000 to take care of the players a day, you might be surprised that it will be $100,000 for the officials per day. I'm telling you for a fact. These people that's what is paining me. Yeah. When we say they have not paid teachers, when we say they've not paid, you will ask the teachers to be patient. Will you not tell governors to be patient? You will not tell ministers to be patient. You will not tell the president to be patient. It is always those who are beneath heels, those who are suffering, those who live from paycheck to paycheck that have to make these sacrifices. Why not why not Amaju Pinnick? Has it not been, can you prove me wrong to say there has not been any salary since 2019? Then you want to tell the players, many of whom are playing in the local league where they earn peanuts. Even those who are earning big money, then you want them to be paid. Why you are not patriotic? You are asking people. It's just like the Pope now asking priests not to get married when he has 2 or 3 wives. You understand? You have to practice what you preach. So if you are telling us that the players should be, are they patriotic in the NFF?
Okay, also, another point I just wanted to point out, because my own take today is the fact that we should find a way to play the games, then get this resolved, or get this resolved as soon as possible. It's just transfers, really.
Let this
I think they should call the sports minister.
Even if they cannot.
The sports minister should quickly maybe even call the president, quickly do these transfers.
I don't even want the president to use our collective wealth to settle that.
Okay.
NFF gets money from corporate sponsors.
Well,
they get money from CAF.
Yeah.
And they get money from FIFA. They should look for creative ways to judiciously spend these monies.
Yeah.
First of all, one of the ways for NFF to even get money is by getting involved in football trainings activities. For example, when you train coaches, you train things that you train scouts, you train agents. These things would give the NFF resources. But it is not, in fact, what is there now, like I said in the previous episode, we just have, we produce less than 100 coaches every year. You understand? That gives us nothing.
Yeah.
You understand? That gives us nothing. That's point one. Then you should look for creative ways to get more sponsors. There's Dangote refinery that can give you hundreds of millions every year. There is even Dangote cement. There is a Boa cement. There is UBA. Our strong financial institutions. We have very big companies in this country that the NFF should be transparent enough to go around with their battle bowls to look for a sponsorship and endorsement that will give the NFF money.
But you just said also now, and this I think is a major issue, is the issue of even the transparency.
Yes, it's not there.
So even when these multinationals release this,
you get the point. They will not use it for bazaar. They will not 50 of them will now go and watch an under-17 match in the US. I'm telling you the fact. Another thing you also have to factor in is that because there's no transparency and honesty in Nigeria, these players might have been given payment plans before, because I wanted to suggest payment plans. Okay, just tell them, okay, we'll give you 3% of these monies every month, whatever is owed to each player.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they'll give them for the first and second month and regress. Go back to their cancerous ways.
Yes.
So it is even very futile for these players to even wait for a proper payment plan, because they know it would not be implemented. Are you trying to tell me that an institution as big as the NFF do not have financial advisors or accountants who are able to factor in players' salary? They do. They want these players. They want to blackmail these players. They want to, use a patriotism, strong arm tactics. They want to hold them hostage by saying Nigerians will be sad if you do not go to the work or if you do not play. Yes, it will be sad, but let this be a precedent. You have to pay people what you owe them. If you don't pay them, they should not play.
Now, in 2002, and I want to point out two things here. In 2002, when Sunday Olise and some senior players in the team held the NFF hostage at that point and said, if you don't pay us this money, we're going to do XYZ. When they were dropped, the others who they were probably fighting for went to the World Cup.
Yes, of course.
For me, that was betrayal from some of those players. They betrayed the leadership of the team who were obviously fighting for them. Now, also for the home-based players, when they are called to national duty, the truth is that I'm sure in their various homes and families, there'll be celebration.
Yes, because that's a step up financially.
Expectation that when they come back, there will be some feasting and
you understand? Well,
and
not
then
there.
They come back and tell you they're not paying.
I tell you, you might even be surprised that it is when some of these home-based players, when they meet the likes of Osimhen, Victor Boniface, that they now get $1,000, from them. Yeah. So it's very sad that that means you are asking a fellow footballer to beg a fellow footballer for sustenance.
When they now return,
there will be no dignity.
Supposed to now declare.
You understand?
You know how?
Yes, now because the truth is that. The truth is that in our society, we have a very there's a way we are very, very collective and communal in our society. Yeah. So if I make $1 billion today, obviously there is a very big, it's not even a big possibility. There is a certainty that you are obviously going to get stepped up.
Yeah.
If our producer and our production assistant, they are also going to get stepped up directly or indirectly. Yeah. That's how communal we are. In fact, it is a duty. In fact. They will be entitled. You guys will be entitled to it. Like, do you understand, Onyani? You just made $1 billion, and do you understand the point? The entitlement comes in. So now, and we wallow in poverty, for crying out loud. In this country, we wallow in poverty. So now you have an uncle or an aunt who lives in a house where there is no water, and then you are playing for Super Eagles, for example. Like everybody expects that you go and sink a ball there, or you change their houses. Yes. But this thing is not even there. Look. Even if you are telling me that the wages are just too high, fine. I can even agree to that. Renegotiate it. What is now due to these players? pay it as at when due. Even if you tell them the allowance is just $1,000, okay, fine. Let the players, let them talk, amongst themselves
and decide to play based on
on,
patriotism,
yes,
yeah,
okay,
and collect the
$1,000, okay,
$1,000,
fine.
yes.
But pay them when it is due. I don't
Yeah.
want to. This thing is causing me PTSD. You understand? It's toying with my brain. You don't expect people to work and not pay them. If you have had an agreement with people to say, I'm paying you $100 or I'm paying you 1,000 naira, 10,000 naira after every game, pay them as soon as it is done.
Yeah.
Don't keep it. Stop stressing these players. Stop asking them, because it's very, very painful when you do a job for someone and you are not paid. It affects you mentally. You understand? And that is why they have been. Oh, I've seen the reason why they have been playing sluggishly, because you have not been paying them. The motivation is not there. Many of them are, because I think many of them just come to Nigeria to play in these games, because they want to get away from the very serious trainings and the competitiveness they get in their clubs. You understand? Because if you do not go for international break, you're expected to remain back at your club and train even at a very high level.
Yeah.
So many of them just come around to relax. They are laid back because they don't get paid. Yeah. You don't pay me for a job and you want me to be. Let's just look at it from this angle. You're not paying me for a job and you have the right to demand 100% from me. It will not work.
Okay. So for me, seeing that these players have not been paid for such a long time,
6 years,
I would believe that these players come for these games based on
patriotism, and they'll be patriotic enough. It's time for NFF to be patriotic.
Passion for the country, Nigeria. I think we need to also step up and do the right thing. Also, when these players even get injured, there is some of them have to go back to their club sites to get treated by the clubs. Since we don't do any of this, it is expected that we are able to take off our players and give them their allowances
as at when due.
So we hope that this issue is resolved as quickly as possible so that we can get the players playing optimally and to the best of their ability when we face Gabon on Thursday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. We will be here for that game on Thursday, and hopefully it will be a time for us to celebrate. Thank you.
Yes, I want us to win.
Yeah.
I want us to win.
Yeah,
I'm being honest. But even if the Super Eagles decide to forfeit this game, and then the NFF or they are punished, I would also be very happy, because a precedent has to be set.
Yeah,
you understand the point? A precedent has to be set, and it's not like they are doctors. They are not doctors where this is a do or die affair, where if they decide to go on strike, people will die. People will not receive important care and die. Yeah. You understand? We also have to brace up as a nation to understand that these guys are not being paid. This shouldn't even be a debate. It's because we are an anyhow country. You understand? That is why we are having this debate, that these guys are not being paid. Okay, let them play first now. This it's grating my nerves.
Okay, another point I would want to quickly point out is the fact that even if we say let's wait to the African Cup of Nations,
they will not pay them.
How are you sure that some of the players who have played in these qualifiers will make it to the AFCON? There's no guarantee that because you were in the qualifiers, you will make it to the tournament.
You might get
injuries
injured.
can come
up.
What
is the payment
You may
plan?
lose form, and then somebody else has better form than you, and then so let's pay them when they do the job. Those who go to AFCON should also get paid, because it's really embarrassing that we have to discuss this in 2025.
Because the truth is that some of the players that are currently being old, who are old now, could have even left the national team since 2022.
Exactly. Yes.
You understand? So what is the plans for them? Pay these guys.
In 2019, someone like Uzoho was in the team.
You get the point.
It's not here now.
You understand?
So
he needs this money.
It's a lot. Let's try and sort out these issues as quickly as we can. Thank you for being a part of the show today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and of course, you can drop your comments and your contributions, and also please share the video to your other platforms. Thank you for being part of the show today. We'll see you again on Thursday.